The Oakland A's sent a letter to the city and county informing them that they are not paying their rent for the Coliseum because of the pandemic.
KPIX 5 John Ramos tells us that move isn't sitting too well with some residents or the Coliseum's Joint Powers Authority.
There are people who believe if you have been negatively impacted by the pandemic, you should not have to pay rent. And now it looks like the Oakland A's may share that sentiment. The average salary for a Major League Baseball player is $4.3 million, but the Oakland A's pay only $1.2 million to use the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum for the entire season. That seems like a bargain, but according to a letter sent to the city and county, that's still too steep a price for the A's.
Because they have not been able to create any revenue side of the site, that they don't have no money to pay. I mean, that's basically what it says. I mean, almost verbatim, right?
Ignacio de la Fuente sits on the board of the Coliseum Authority. But in a written statement to us, the A's say the reasons for not paying their rent are the shelter in place, bans on gatherings, and the fact that the site was once briefly examined as a possible place to put a surge of COVID-19 patients. It says, given the local state of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Oakland Coliseum has been kept available by the City of Oakland and Alameda County as a potential surge location. But De La Fuente says that's simply not true.
We have never notified them or implied that the facilities were not available. If they decide to use that as an excuse, I don't know where they got it from, but not from us.
Residents see both sides of the dispute.
When you don't pay your rent, you tend to get evicted. So if that's the case, then unfortunately, maybe that's what has to happen.
It'll be a hard choice for me to pay it, you know, because like we're not paying. There's no fans coming to see us. Like, why are we paying?
But De La Fuente says with the huge deficits local governments are facing, this is not a good time for the A's to skip out on the rent.
They should, as a good citizens and people that have really get the benefit of the city, to pay the rent just like anybody else.
In Oakland, John Ramos, KPIX 5.
De La Fuente points out the city and county are still paying more than $20 million per year for renovations made back in the 1990s.